what is it now? Week 4? Week 4 of this fucking eval. Definitely broke back up on 1 hour, so we're most likely gonna have to go up today. We got relevant liquidity right there. We got more right here. We got a gap that still hasn't been touched from this point onwards. All of these highs, boom. All of these highs there. Right, that market open. I could enter for a long if we tap this. Also, just to stack confluence, boom, we got another inverse within an inverse. Nice double bottom as well. Looking pretty good for longs. We got a double bottom here, inverse gap on the 30-minute, plus an inverse on the 15, stacked on top of each other. It looks like we took out all the data lows from right here. So I think we're pretty much primed to fucking move up. So we have all these lows from the previous sessions marked out now and highs. Pretty similar setup. It looks like we can just keep on going up. We do have this inverse. Don't know how relevant that's going to end up being, but it's there in the 15-minute as well. Disrespected this gap here as well, so pretty likely that we could keep on ripping up. So right now I'm banking off the fact that we had this liquidity sweep here. We have a bunch of liquidity going up. We swept through data lows earlier. Inverse gap that could potentially be the move back up. Another gap to fill right here. Another gap to fill. Very relevant liquidity all the way up. And we already kind of shot through everything on previous sessions. So my last point probably would be the top of this gap. If we can get through this, confidently close above it, then I think we can aim for anything up here. I didn't see this, but this is a divergence. We have this. MNQ is about to take out this long, or this high, I mean, on 1940, same time frame. If this sweeps below or above, and SPY can't take this out, then we're gonna go for shorts. Well, I might not because my bias is definitely bullish, but I think at that point everything's gonna get invalidated if we don't take out this high. But Nasdaq already has, so we have 2 minutes to close above this now. At this point, if we close even above here, like right above this gap, we inverse this. That's fine too. Bounce into it, and then right at the break of structure above this point, that's when I'll answer. Because we've inversed this high on Nasdaq. This is gone. I don't need this anymore. This got swept into. Maybe we come back here and then break out again. If SPY can take this out. Okay, boom. So now SPY took those out. At least swept it. All I'm waiting for now is a retracement back into this inverse gap, and then we can go up higher, chasing this, whatever. Even if this initial move up doesn't back into this, eventually we're gonna back into this, and if this holds structure, then that second move up will be what I'm looking for. It wouldn't be stupid to enter at any one of these points just because both highs got taken out on both indexes, and they're just soaring right past them. So that means that there's still gonna be room to grow on both indexes. And we got news in 20, so we'll see what happens after news. I hate when the market just goes straight up or straight down without any real fucking like confluence. All you had to do is tap into here. That's literally it. Like by like one tick. And I would have entered for a long. Hopefully, what I'm thinking, news that we have in like 15 minutes. It's gonna make us drop below here, and then bam, we're gonna break right out of this gap and then fucking fly. I'm not gonna be playing any shorts. I'm literally only looking for this gap to get touched, and then we could target this high because thankfully it didn't get tapped by either Nasdaq or SPY. So hopefully with whatever news we're getting in a minute here, we can sink all the way back down, fill this displacement into this inverse gap, break back out of it, and boom. I'll enter off a 5-minute break of structure, having a stop loss right below this, if we don't break below it, hopefully, and then targeting this high. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is gonna get filled at like fucking 2 p.m. when nobody's on charts and New York session is done, and then it's gonna come back down from this high into here, and then boom, all the way up to this fucking gap. Because it's not happening now, I'll tell you that. It's already 10:06. Nothing's gonna happen. This is done. But SPY looks to be taking out these highs. Nasdaq hasn't yet. Nasdaq has been leading the move down. I'm about to go for a short and fucking risk my whole portfolio. Not really. I'm curious to see if this actually works out because SPY, like I said, Nasdaq has been leading the move up. Originally, when Nasdaq took out this move, SPY was lagging behind. So if SPY decides to come up here, take this out, which it just did, perfect, mid-sentence. And then Nasdaq decides to break structure downwards, That's a pretty clear indicator that we are going to move down. So in that case, I might actually stay on charts until like 11, maybe 11:30 a.m. Just to see if we can bounce back out of this gap, because it looks like Nasdaq will not be making this same move up. Because this move up has literally been filled by nothing, bro. There's nothing except for this, I guess, somewhat of a liquidity sweep from there. But like even that, nothing really, like no continuation, nothing. Was something inversed here? No, that's not even inverse that much. I don't know, man. Today's been fucking weird. Yeah, that doesn't really get inversed. If we have no sign of slowing down by like 10:30, I'm just gonna hop off for today. Because that news gave us one fucking candle downwards, but it looks like it just wants to keep rising up. And even this didn't really give us anything. There was no real, I guess, it kind of swept above that. But no, there was no real confirmation that it's gonna continue to go higher. Definitely gonna start sinking on Nasdaq because this is not even close to taking it out. SPY is already making its way back up to this gap. So this is definitely a pretty fucking clear divergence where Nasdaq is down and SPY is up. As soon as this breaks downwards, honestly, I might go for a short. I'm not gonna risk more than like $50 to maybe $100 because, like I said, my bias is definitely bullish, and I don't want to keep playing against it, even though the market's telling me to do so. I have a bit of a dilemma because Nasdaq has yet to take out these highs, but we're reaching pretty much a point where this divergence is just huge. SPY is about to touch this gap. Nasdaq is nowhere near this. I think Nasdaq may or may not sweep this, but I think for sure that we're gonna go down. I mean, this is a little ridiculous though. Now it's just one fucking white line, dude. Bro, literally one white line. 4 hours of just straight bullish price action. Okay, looks like we're finally starting to form something fucking red. Yes, Nasdaq hasn't tapped these yet, so honestly, break a structure, I go for a short. Nothing crazy because I don't want to risk against my bias again. But the fact that this divergence is here and it's fucking massive is definitely a great sign. 4 minutes to break below this point. I think it's definitely possible. We can break into that inverse, break below it, hopefully break below this point as well. Break a structure, that's more than enough for me to go. If we break below this on Nasdaq, that's pretty clear indication that we're going to keep dropping. Because currently SPY is already in a downtrend now. Tapped into this gap, broke below it, broke a structure on 5 minute. Especially if this closes out below this point, that means we have a lower high again. So the only thing left to make is a lower low. So SPY is definitely in a downtrend. I'm only concerned because Nasdaq hasn't done that yet. It's still technically uptrend. Hasn't broken below this point. A lower high though, so that's not bad. Hopefully we can break below this gap. If we break below this gap, then it's a surefire fucking short. There have been times where I entered off of just one of the indexes breaking structure, especially the fact that it wasn't the leading index like Nasdaq is today. And then we just continue to rip up, even though this one is technically in a breaker structure. Nasdaq has been the leader all day, and Nasdaq hasn't broke down, so it's not surprising, I guess, if it does decide to keep going higher, because only the lagging index broke down. If we break above this point, I think I'm done here. Because Nasdaq still hasn't taken these highs up, so there's definitely chances for it to drop. Just need some type of structure break, and then we'll be good to go. Entered for short. We had a divergence between SPY and Nasdaq that's still relevant because Nasdaq never took out this yellow line here, which was New York highs. Broker structure 5 minute clear targets above. Plus we fucking ripped insane this morning, so I think it's pretty evident that we could have at least a retracement somewhere. I picked this because it's still pretty it's like halfway down the whole move. Equilibrium I'm pretty sure is right around there anyway. Yeah, so at that point I feel like that's when we can start targeting, or that's when price is going to start targeting for longs. Yeah, it's right around the equilibrium. So I'm okay with this. I think it's a pretty good entry. I'm happy with it. We could see some type of retracement into this little inverse. Bounce out of it. I'm okay with that. The one thing about this shit that's so annoying, bro. It takes so long, and it could go like all the way down here and still fucking kick you out. So all this time would be for nothing. Some straight up cuck shit, man. I'm gonna take a piss or something, dude. Go empty my fucking bowels while this empties out my bank account. Nasdaq still, SPY is still playing off a 5 minute gap. And is Nasdaq? Yeah, it is. You know what, man? I think I'm gonna cut it because that gap. Fuck it, I'm cutting this shit. Whatever, man. It is what it is for $20. All that for fucking nothing. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna leave this shit on, and then when I come back, if it's all the way through, I'll be a little tight, but whatever, man. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We'll be back next week. This week, like I said, the goal is up to 1.1K. So now I'm back to 998. I think 100.1 or 101 is definitely possible by the end of this week. So we'll see what happens tomorrow.